Okay, we have a jam-packed full day, and what I'd like to start out with is actually a quote before we start any introductions or anything like that. And I've got some special quotes along the way, but this is one I pulled just to get us kicked off. It's by Goldie Hawn, but I just want you to kind of sink in what she's talking about, because sometimes life can be very chaotic, and we're always depending on outside sources, right? So it's wonderful to move forward technologically, but we cannot forget that we are human beings who thrive on relationships, who thrive on interconnectivity, and who thrive on sharing your feelings and emotions. I think that kind of puts the umbrella of what we're going to experience today. We're going to have a lot of opportunities to connect with each other and expand and obviously thrive. I'm your MC, Kathleen Zemansky. I'm a business consultant, and I use feng shui tools to help people get where they want to be in their business, in their lives as well. Rebecca Hall Gruyter, she is your host today, and she has a fabulous, fabulous agenda that's going to be unfolding throughout the day. And actually, I was thinking about, we probably need 2 days just so I can interweave the things about how accomplished this woman is. I mean, seriously. But Rebecca being Rebecca, she's made this day about you. So there's going to be wonderful opportunities to hear speakers, connect with our sponsors, as well as connecting with each other. So I hope you brought lots of business cards. I hope you brought an open heart, because we're going to not only get ready, we are here and we are ready to thrive. So let me tell you a little bit about the flow of the day before I bring Rebecca up here. Really, one of the nice things that she's going to do just right at the opening is she wants to meet each and every one of you. Now, we're in a big group, and she's not going to be able to sit with you individually, but she's going to connect with you individually to hear who you are, what you're about, and we're also going to be setting some intentions as well. So I was sharing with the speakers before we got started today that she asked what my intention was, and I kind of thought about it, and I'm not a seamstress, I'm not a carpet weaver, but I just thought about a tapestry that I began a stitch right now, actually before I even got up on stage today, and it's about weaving a tapestry. And I know as I connect with you as well today that we're gonna collectively recarpet this whole place with a whole new tapestry and walls and the container that we're creating by being here together. So are you excited about that? Okay, great. I'd like to bring up to the stage Rebecca Hall Gruyter. She is, as I said, a very accomplished woman. But besides being accomplished, she's very heartfelt as well. I know some of you have worked with her personally, worked with her in some of her programs. Who here is the first time being here? Any first timers? Wonderful. I don't want to say put your seatbelts on, but you're really in the right place, and you have wonderful opportunities to connect with a community that I came across Rebecca a couple of years ago, and I thought, I'm going to just come for just a little while and check this out, and I'll tell you as well of the things that have unfolded for me because of her. So she's gone from a corporate life into, I'm going to say, a media mogul. Could we say that? I think we can, right? So we're gonna start with her coming up on stage, and as I said, I'm gonna unfold many things about her being an author, a speaker, radio, television, and just so many opportunities that not only has she stepped into herself, but she is also making these opportunities available for us along the way. So you're gonna hear so much more about her, but for now, why don't we stand up and bring her in on the stage? Rebecca Hall Gruyter! Woohoo!
Give Kathleen a round of applause, our amazing MC. Thank you. Well, it is wonderful to welcome all of you today. And this program was originally called Get Ready to Thrive, but I think we need to rename it. And I want to change that to Ready to Thrive. Can we embrace that? Because we're here today. We're ready, and I want you ready to receive so that you can be filled to overflowing to thrive starting now. Not when you leave, but starting right now. Can we do that? Are we willing? Yes. Okay, let's take a breath. Let's breathe that in. We're going to do a lot of breathing today. Helps us process, helps us absorb, and really take information in. Plus, oxygen is great for us on a cellular level as well. So, can you raise the hands again? I saw there were a lot of, I was in the back. How many of this is your first time? Welcome. Very excited to have you here. Please know all of us are here to support and encourage you. So the people that weren't raising their hands, I know they'd love to meet you and give you a hug and have you feel very welcomed, as would I. So welcome, welcome. And I like to talk about a few housekeeping things because we have a lot of tools here to support you. Because we have a full day, a full agenda, and I want to make sure you have a way to absorb that information so that it hits in a positive way. It doesn't just keep stacking in and feel heavy. So can I walk you through some of those tools? Now there is a folder. Ta-ta-da. Each of you have. And how many of you are list people? Who are my list buddies? Oh, looks like we have about 50-50. Okay, so list people, here's the tool we have for you. It's a magical insert within your folder. And you see all the lines? We can make lists. Because we have this fabulous notepad that we get to take notes all day long, but after a full day of notes, it can get a little bit overwhelming to kind of sort through and what was I taking action on. So if you look at the back of the insert form, what do you see? Action items. I'm about action. And there's a box you can check. So for us list people, there's nothing better than writing something on a list and crossing it off completed or checking the box, right? List people, am I speaking truth? And if we do something that isn't on the list, what do? We write it on the list and cross it off. So here's an opportunity all day long, every presentation, I encourage you to write one action you're going to take based on that presentation and then put a date of when you're going to do that. And you may actually find you do something today that you could actually check a box today. Are we game? Yes. Okay. Secondly, we put some materials in that folder because we want to stay in touch and we want you to know a little bit about us. But sometimes people aren't opening the folder, so I want you to know a couple things that are in there. One, this is a series. So you can find the entire schedule on this card. We'd love to have you join us again. There will be opportunities to do that today. But in case you're wondering when the events are and how to find out, here it is. And then I have a radio show, and I have people asking me, how do I find it? You'll find there's a bookmark in your folder that tells you exactly how to sync in and find us on the radio on our international show. So I encourage you to check us out. We'd love to stay connected throughout, not just today, but going forward. How many of you are not list people? Now, I know there are more than that. It's okay to raise hands if you're not a list person. Thank you. I have something for you too. If you look on the table, you're going to see this beautiful flower chart. I invite you to pull it out, hand them around, make sure everyone can see. So for those of you who are not list people, sometimes you're more visual in how information comes in. And so we wanted you to have a way to capture that information too. What goes in the center of your flower? You, exactly. Write your name in the center of your flower because today is about you. And I want you to remember that. We very easily can put other things in the center and forget to put ourselves first. So write your name in the center. And then the first petal here, M, stands for our first speaker, Maura. Yay! So when Maura is speaking and sharing with you, you can capture a picture or a key phrase or something that speaks to you that is on your heart from her presentation. And we'll do this for every single petal. So at the end of the day, you have a visual representation of your experience here today. Does that make sense? Okay. So M is for Maura. R is for Rebecca, very good. V is for Vicky. And then we have another M for Miley. And then D, did we have that? I'm just testing. Where's our, oh, there's our Debbie. I was like, where's my Debbie? And we have D for Debbie. So make sure throughout the day that you're thinking about these individuals, you're seeing what's being spoken to your heart and capture that information. So now you'll have this page you can refer back to and enjoy the event again and again. And for those of you who like extra credit bonus opportunities, anyone here in the room? Okay. I would love you to take a picture of your flower and send it to me or post it on Facebook and let us celebrate with you. So it's just a way to encourage and celebrate and enjoy this beautiful garden that we're creating together. So that's your extra credit bonus opportunity, gold star for those of you who decide to do that. And then I want this to be a safe space. I want you to just feel that. A safe space for all of you today. Because it's not an accident that you were drawn to this event. I believe there's something absolutely here for you today. And I want you feeling open to receiving it. We're going to have times where you'll get to be open and share. And we actually don't film those. That's time for you to connect with us and be safe and know that we're here for you. So what happens at Ready to Thrive stays. I don't know if I believe that. What happens at Ready to Thrive? Okay, beautiful, beautiful. So it's a safe and sacred space for us to connect heart to heart, life to life, as we weave this beautiful tapestry that Kathleen has started with each of us. We get to join and be a part of that. And one way we can encourage each other to feel safe, to be willing to be open, to be authentic, to be perfect in our imperfections, encouraging us to take off those layers and those masks and those things we can sometimes hide behind, is a magical phrase called "You are so beautiful." I think one of the most beautiful things is when we connect with someone on a heart-to-heart human level, we get to see their humanness. Sometimes those messy moments are the most beautiful. And what can happen when we're in the mess or something goes a little differently than we planned, we can start to withdraw. We can start having that voice talk in our head, oh my goodness, I can't believe I said that. We start even backing up, and pretty soon our body may still be there, but we aren't, and we're no longer connected. But what can help shift that is that phrase. When we see something like that, let's cheer each other on in our humanness. Let's cheer each other on in how we're made, the exquisite tapestry each of us are, how we're made with that phrase. You are so beautiful. Okay, let's practice. I want us to get really, really skilled. Let's make this muscle really strong. Trip. You are so beautiful. Thank you. See, I leaned in. I didn't brush it off. They got a good angle. They just like the dress. I actually leaned in to receive. And so often we brush off a compliment inside or even outside. We'll even shift when someone sees something amazing in us. I want to encourage us to lean in and receive. So let's try it again. I lost my page. What am I going to do? You are so beautiful. Good. I think we're ready to share the gift. Find a neighbor, make beautiful eye contact, and let's share this gift, heart to heart. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's find another neighbor. Hugs are welcome. Wonderful. Wonderful. So are we feeling a little more beautiful? Receiving that gift a little bit more, sitting up a little taller, starting to weave together and connect. Wonderful. Part of what happens here is we're planting seeds that get to echo out throughout the world. What we do with this filming, it actually becomes a television series that we release on 2 different networks that we get to share and keep giving and impacting lives around the world. So we have an amazing opportunity to do that. But it starts here. It starts today. It starts with the energy that we're planting and that we're growing and we're bringing forward. And you each get to be a part of that. And when I talked about something being here for you, there are times you're going to be giving. There are times you're going to be receiving. It's not just the people on the stage that have something to offer, though we are going to serve at our highest level. But there are people at the tables. It's not an accident you're sitting where you are that may have something for you. Perhaps a hug, a reminder, an encouragement, a connection. And perhaps you have that for someone else. So I really encourage you to get to know your circles and be willing to connect heart to heart. You're going to have lots and lots of opportunities to do that. The part we won't share out is when we go around and we introduce ourselves and kind of share our intentions. That really is sacred, and it's for our time here. So I just want to make sure everyone knows kind of where those boundaries are, so no one's concerned or worried about the lights and the camera or anything like that, that you're really here to receive, to be poured into, and you get to be part of something that's going to reach around the world. Is that exciting? Let me ask that again. Is that exciting? Yeah. Okay, wonderful. I don't want to be alone in my excitement. Perfect. And before we go too much further, I want to take an opportunity to clear anything that can be distracting us and pulling at us. Because I know it's not easy to come on a Saturday. I know you're very committed because not only did you sign up when the opportunity became available, when you were sent the confirmation, you still came. When you were sent the reminder, you didn't send me notes saying I'm not able to come. And in fact, there are a couple of people that sent me notes saying I'm not sure if I can. And guess what? They're here. So I honor that. Your commitment to you, your willingness to be here, to be poured into, to give yourself the gift of a Saturday, a full day for you. And we want to honor that. But part of doing that is not letting the past or the to-do list rob you from today, from this moment, from this connection. So can I support you in clearing a little bit of that and putting it in safekeeping? Yes. Okay. So let's take a breath. Close your eyes. Big belly breath. See how big you can make your belly? Breathe in through the nose. Out through your mouth. Beautiful. I want you to just think about anything that is pulling at you. It could be the to-do list. It could be getting lost on the way, or the dishes in the sink. I don't know, whatever it is, the stuff on the desk that's pulling at you. Let's lovingly gather that together and put that into a heart-shaped box, because we're going to wrap it in a lot of love. But this box has a lid we're going to put on top Tiny, tiny air holes. We're not suffocating anything, but we're putting it in safekeeping until the end of the day, because right now is your time. And boxes are kind of heavy, so we're going to use our breath actually to remove this from the room. So you want to make sure you're taking a big belly breath to accomplish that. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, big breath. Okay, out through the lobby, breathe out. Out through the lobby, over into the courtyard where it can wander free in the air, still contained within its box, and enjoy the beautiful outside. So go ahead and open up your eyes. And I'd like you to stand. Sometimes when we shift our bodies, there's more that can come. So go ahead and close your eyes. Feel in anything else that was hiding in the corners. It's now starting to poke at you a little bit. Let's lovingly gather those things and put them into a shiny silver bag with that cellophane tissue paper that we're going to place on top. And let's put a lovely bow tying the 2 handles together. You get to choose the color. Let's take a really big breath. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, out the lobby. Actually, down the street, keep breathing, keep breathing. We're going to actually put this group over at Safeway in case it's hungry. Okay, go ahead. Come back into the room. Great. Go ahead and have a seat. So now we've cleared a little bit of space. If you do find throughout the day something starting to pull at you again, you can absolutely take another breath. You have 2 locations. You can send those things. They're safe, and you can pick them up if you decide to at the end of the day when you leave. But this is your time, your day, to fully be poured into and receive. But I'd love to give us some framework, especially if this is your first time. I want you to know some tools and ways that you can hold the information that's going to be shared with you. And how many of you, just out of curiosity, love visibility, love cameras, can't wait for the camera to start rolling? Oh, a little bit higher percent than normal. I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it. For those of you, perhaps you do the duck away or the angle behind someone, I've discovered they actually still take the pictures and post them anyway, and that duck away doesn't always look that great. So I've discovered if I can lean in and smile directly, at least I'm not as uncomfortable with the picture that gets posted on Facebook, etc. So just a tip there. But for those of you who don't always know what to do when that microphone's handed to you or that moment happens where you suddenly feel like you're in the spotlight, I wanted to teach you something. Can I do that? And this is something my cat taught me. Nina. Nina always makes an entrance. She would come down the steps, she strut, she kind of pranced. There we go, that's the word, pranced. And she'd enter the room or come down the stairs, and then she would just have her tail up and wait for you to notice her. And if you didn't, she'd chirp. She didn't really meow, so she'd chirp, chirp. And she'd come a little closer. And I go, "Oh, hi, Nina, good to see you. You look great." And then she was happy, went about her cat business. And I thought this was a really interesting behavior. None of my other cats did this. But this was consistently how Nina showed up and interacted in the world. So I thought, maybe I could try this. I work from home. Some of you know this about me. And so I do different things to amuse myself. Some days I feel like wearing a ball gown. So I will. And everything sparkly I own. Sometimes I'll be doing a facial. So my husband never knows, I wear a cowgirl hat, he never knows what he's going to walk home to. So he's learned to just kind of roll with things. So I thought, let me try this Nina experiment on him. So I waited until he was settled and kind of absorbed reading the paper. And I came down the stairs, and I was looking good. I dolled myself all up, fancy shoes. I pranced down, and I waited. And I waited. And I waited. He didn't notice. So I went, ahem. He looks up, not a big response. So I decided he needs a little coaching. So I go, don't I look good? Yeah, honey, you look great. So I figured a little more training's needed, just like Nina. So we started to get this down. I tried different outfits, different things. And after a while, he goes, yeah, you look great, because he knew I would keep standing there until the proper response happened. But what I didn't expect is it became contagious. He started to do it too. He loves hats, so he'd have different hats. And he'd do the little, hey. That was more his ta-da. Me, I'm more like, ta-da, hey, don't I look great? That's more my energy. He's a little more, hey, head tilt. Don't I look cool kind of thing. And it became really fun. And I thought, what if I did this all by myself? What if I greeted every day in the mirror? Ta-da, I have arrived. Don't I look great? Let's bring on the day. And I find it instantly raises my energy. So here's what you can do with this. Whenever you have that moment where you feel like the spotlight's on you and you're not quite sure what to do, you go, ta-da! I think we need to practice. Let's stand up and try this. You can choose the side. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Ta-da! I knew you had it. And okay, other side. 1, 2, 3. Ta-da! Okay, both hands, make it count. 1, 2, 3. Ta-da! You are picture ready. I love it. Wonderful. And then I also want us open to learn. How many of you hope to learn something new today? Oh, love it. But I find we say that, but sometimes when we learn something new, we actually beat ourselves up. Oh, how could I not have known that? I'm so stupid. I should know this. I should have gotten that. Anyone ever, well, you don't have to raise your hands, know somebody who's ever done that? Yeah. So I just want to remind you that when that happens, when there's something new that you learn, celebrate it. I didn't know that. That's amazing. I'm excited to learn that and test it out. Do you think we can do that? I'm going to drill this a little more because I'm not sure we fully are as excited about it as I am for you. I had a grandmother that taught me this lesson really, really powerfully. My grandma taught me how to make cookies. And I was this big. My hair was so blonde it was almost white. I wore it in a ponytail, always a little off skew, no matter what. It was just always a little bit off. I had bangs. And cookies were one of my most favoriteest things in the whole world. And so she taught me how to make them. And we have this picture I look at, and you see me standing there holding this tray, and I have to tell you they're cookies. You wouldn't be able to tell. My first time, these were the survivors. But to me, they were some of the most beautiful, wonderful things I had ever made. And I felt so empowered and wanted to go do it again and again. Because she celebrated. My family oohed and awed over the cookies. I felt like I could do anything, and I wanted to go do it again and again. But my experience could have been very, very different. Because if you also look in the picture, you'll notice there's flour everywhere. Because one of the other things I learned, because I do everything with enthusiasm in case you don't know that about me yet, I went to put away an almost full thing of flour enthusiastically before closing it. Thus, we had a snowy picture. I didn't know when you take cookies out, you have to take the tray out straight, or you lose some of the cookies along the way. I didn't know you can't overwork the dough, because that does stuff too. When you mix wet and dry ingredients, you can't do it enthusiastically initially. You lose a lot of the batter and mixture. But I didn't see any of that. My grandma rightfully could have commented on any of those things, but that's not what she taught me. She taught me I could make something amazing. And I still learned all of those things because I wanted more cookies next time. So I knew if I applied these things I learned, I would have more survivors next time around. So I was able to apply that without beating myself up, without criticizing myself, and still learn and grow. So I call those cookie moments, those opportunities where we get to celebrate learning something, growing in an area as a cookie moment. And I want to encourage you to look for those cookie moments in your life to celebrate all along the way. Can we do that? Yes. Okay, beautiful. And there's one more thing. I wasn't sure if I was going to share or not, but it's on my heart to share this morning. I have 2 new kitties that we recently rescued, Darla and Mr. Alf. And they're rescue cats. They had kind of a rough journey before we got them. We had to actually teach them about toys and different things that they hadn't really experienced and build trust. One of the things they're teaching me is to be still. They are minimalists. They are really good at laying and being perfectly content to be still and just be with you. I want to encourage you to be willing to be still, to be. It's enough to receive. Sometimes I'll go lay down or I'll go sit on the couch, and this is when they'll move. They'll race. Darla will race to lay beside and cuddle and be. So how can we be with ourselves and with each other, and just that's enough to be still, to receive, to be fully present? I invite you to dig your roots in deeply today and be still, be willing to receive and be poured into. It's a gift that you are here. You've already got something you can check off your list. For those of you who like to check things off the list, I am here. You are here and willing to be. Let's breathe that in. Wonderful. And what I'd like to do is to go around the room and have each of you take a moment to introduce yourself and to share your intention. And we're going to take a moment, kind of set those intentions together. But we're going to go around the room, have you share your name, your intention first, and then you can share what you do. If we have time, we'll have 30 seconds. So just for those of you who like to know what's coming. But while we're being still, our roots are going deep. I invite you to close your eyes. I can see if you don't. Take a breath, a big belly breath. And in this place of beingness, what is it that you need today? What is it that will serve, encourage, empower, nourish you? What is it you're here for? And it may be different than what you thought it was. So really feel in. Receive that information. Here's the second part of that question, though, of that seeking. What is it you need? Your intention around that. And are you willing to receive? That's the second question. There's a willingness and choice in it. And just feel in. And if it's no, then feel into what is it that you will be willing to receive. I want you to get something that serves you today. Go ahead and feel in. When you have the answer, or answers, or information, Go ahead and come back into the room. Open up your eyes. I invite you to write it down. It's so easy to get distracted. It's so easy to forget. But if we can keep it top of mind, we can recognize it when it's standing right in front of us. We can lean in. We can be actively on the lookout for whatever it is that we need, that we are willing to receive. And you don't have to show anyone. This is for you. So now that we've captured that information, we're going to go around the room and have everyone introduce themselves, their name, and you can share an intention. It may not be, some are so quiet and deep, we're not ready to share, and that's okay. So a level that you are willing to share, that gives us an opportunity to support you in that, to lift that intention up with you throughout the day. Wasn't it wonderful to meet everybody? And I started to really see people are sitting in the right places for the right connections. I'm loving that. And I love how we're coming both from a doing business perspective as well as a being perspective, because sometimes we can concentrate in one area and not the other. And at the core of it, we are the gift. And it's really important to remember to be, whether it's in business or it's in our personal life. So as we go through our time together, stretch that muscle, build that muscle, take a breath with someone, share a hug, really connect on that heart level. It's a wonderful community. You got to hear just a taste of who's in the room. But let's take a moment to kind of weave all of our intentions and sharing together. Can we do that? So let's close our eyes. Actually, let's change that. Open your eyes. It's a test. You all passed. Go ahead and stand. Then close your eyes. Works better. Okay. And I want you to take a deep breath. Hold in your heart the intention that you shared with us. Put one hand on your heart, one hand on your head, bringing all of you in. Holding that intention in your heart. Now hold it in your mind, your spirit, all of you. Then lovingly breathe it out into the room. Picture it mingling with everyone else's beautiful intention, weaving together this rich mixture that we then get to breathe in. Hold it lovingly in our heart, in our mind, body, soul, and spirit, lovingly, just holding, supporting, breathing out that beautiful mixture again, mixing it even more, all the far reaches of the room. Let's weave that together in our beautiful tapestry we're building. Breathe that in again, one more time, holding it in your heart, and then out into the room. Wonderful. Go ahead, open up your eyes, have a seat. I now declare us connected, supporting one another throughout the day.
Are you a speaker looking to reach more people with your message? You have a global vision that you want to touch the world and make a global difference. If so, I have an amazing opportunity for you. It's called the Speaker Talent Search. Again, that's the speakertalentsearch.com. You'll find all the details, but here are the highlights. With one application process, you get clarity on your message. You get to fine-tune how you want to reach the world. Then you'll have everything ready in one place for the opportunities when they come. Second, we select you as a finalist. You get to come in and audition with a 7-minute audition, open up the door to hundreds of speaking opportunities. I hope you lean in. I hope you say yes. We would love to hear your message, help you touch the world powerfully. Again, that's the speaker, talentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your powerful message.